same boat. My Hebrew school education was basically spent avoiding it. So my friends and I would show up with like an Israeli teacher who didn't know, American ways of boys, and so what we say, I go to the bathroom and you disappear. It happened enough times that finally the school, I don't know, I officially got kicked out. My parents stopped paying for it, but basically my bar mitzvah was just memorization with my mother, like for a whole year, and just do whatever I did, and then, but I think because I'm never going to use it again, sure. So why spend, time learning something that was never going to use? So I'm definitely afraid of at any point. I've tried to learn Hebrew many different times, and all of them have gone nowhere because of the time that's needed to, sit at discipline time learning anything. I know, but the Hadron is not. So that's the real reason I didn't want to give the Siyum. But I had this thing on my birthday this week. Happy birthday! And I took upon myself two things, and one of the things that I took upon myself was to all of the limitations that I thought that I had, that I was going to try to break them. One of them being my Hebrew. Yeah. To be doing Hebrew.
I'm here if you didn't know.
Then you talk.
Yeah.
Give over. Give over Hebrew or Aramaic, as Dr. Stein said, in front of people is crazy to me. But I'm going to do it in the sense of the following, as a way of trying to break through my limitations. And if I do my little part of breaking through limitations, then hopefully that will help other people break through limitations. And that will hopefully break a lot of us, as a Call Yisrael, break through limitations, including hopefully the biggest limitation, which is that Mashiach's not here, or we can't see him, or whatever you describe. So, l'chaim, to my good friends, for coming to the Siyum, and most importantly, a big l'chaim to the people to the left of me, because the real heroes of this whole group are the people to the left of us, and all the people who are not here who represent that table. Because I guarantee you that everybody sitting around here would not be here today if it wasn't for that table, and for the strength that they give us, and the encouragement that they give us. And we apologize greatly for waking up in the morning, and sorry for that, but it's well worth it at the end of the day. And at our we used to be in the library. First of all, it's good to see all you guys in person for the first time since March. But we give trophies out, for people who do good things, or say something smart, or just we give them Dr. Stein to make like sculptures out of it. But we don't really have an opportunity so much to give you guys trophies. So Malky, if you could give everybody, we have all of us. Trophies. Each one of you deserve it. Both of those. L'chaim. My wife's father, unfortunately 40 years ago, passed away this week. So also 8 times in Yisrael Zera, in his honor, inherit into Neshama Shalom Aliyah, and specifically, as I said before, for Yalsuf, Yalsufora Bas Haibel, Hava Bas Yalsufora, Malka Kinka Bas Yalsufora. They should have everything that they want and need, and expect we should all have. Okay. And one last thing before we start so I don't forget, because it's a huge motivating factor that I wanted to share with everybody. And earlier on in the Gemara, we learned an amazing piece of Gemara that blew me away. I'm like obsessed with it right now. I've shared it with some people, and I just want to share it with everybody in the group. In Pirkei Avos, we learned that Yochanan ben Zakkai has how many students that are awesome? He has 5 awesome students, right? And if you learn in chapter 2 of Pirkei Avos, they say out of these 5 students, he quizzes them like, what's the best thing to have and all this. And Rabbi Elazar ben Ara
always gives the best answer because he's their star student. Says that he was the one who was able to console Yochanan ben Zakkai when his son died. He gave him this whole drasha about a soul that was returned unscathed, and it was like you and this, and so Yochanan ben Zakkai said, "You comforted me." This guy was a star pupil plus plus plus. He was such a star that, remember, Yochanan ben Zakkai said, "What's the best trait which the person should follow?" Right? And he said, "A good heart." He said, "Yes." And what's the one that you should stay away from? It says, "A wicked heart." He said, "Yes." They called him like a fountain of ever increasing strength that just flows. Yochanan ben Zakkai died, and the whole yeshiva wanted to move to Yavne. Elazar ben Arach's wife obviously came from a very, very nice town, like like a resort town, and by beautiful waters and good wine in the area. And she said to him, "You know what? Instead of moving there, let's go back to my hometown." Okay, not a bad idea. And he said, whatever he said, but she said, "Listen, they're going to follow you. Like, you're the star student." Like she said, the mushal of you have mice and cheese. Like, who follows who? Like, the mice go after the cheese or the wheat or whatever, and they'll follow you. Like, so you'll go to my town, and the whole group will follow you. But sure enough, he went there, and nobody followed him. And it says there that he got very, into the waters, and he got very into the wine, and something terrible happened, which is he got so caught up in the Miami lifestyle that he lost everything. The best student of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai lost everything. I mean, it's unbelievable. I can't even get my head around how that could possibly be that he lost his entire Torah. Lost his entire Torah. But then it says that he went back to his buddies, Yavne, and they called him up for an aliyah, because of course he's the big, star student, so why not call him up for an aliyah? So they called him up for an aliyah, and he very much knows my situation where he has very trouble, he doesn't know how to read. And he said to them, instead of reading what he was supposed to read, he said, "Should their heart be silent?" Remember, he's the heart. And they realized at that point in time they didn't know it. He said that they davened for him. Buddies davened for him, and he got it all back. One says that Eliyahu Hanavi came and restored to it. He got it all back. So you may think from the story that it's the Miami lifestyle, that it's the wine and the waters that cause them to fall, that cause them to lose everything. But it's not the case, because this Gemara is given to us in the Mishnah. It also is a very weird, very, very unusual thing, which is that talking about the guy goes to mikveh on Shabbos, so obviously there's an Erev where he's going to wear the towels home, and he takes 10 towels with him, okay? OCD, whatever he is, he takes 10 towels with him, and he dries himself with 10 towels, so each towel is just a little damp. He says that he can't carry those towels home. What's the problem? The problem is squeezing, okay? But none of these towels are damp enough to really omit water, because he's got 10 of them. So he's got 10 towels, he can't carry them home because of squeezing. Why? Because it says he's one. He's one. And one guy by himself you can't rely on that. It says that even if he got home, he may forget the whole thing, he may start squeezing there. But the same Mishnah says that if 10 guys have one towel, obviously you have 9 guys who don't have good memory, one guy's the responsible one, brings a towel, maybe it's a big towel, I don't know. It says 10 guys, okay, have one towel, and they get it soaked. They get this thing soaked. Those 10 guys can carry it home. Remember, we're hearing about squeezing. So how can a towel that's not wet, those towels can't be brought home because we're worried about squeezing. But the one that's sopping wet with 10 guys there, that's the one you can bring home. Why? Because when people are together, they don't fall. And if one guy went to go squeeze something, another guy was going to say, "New Shabbos," or give him a hit or whatever it is. It was going to keep him on the straight path. And I say that because in this world right now, COVID-19, the spiritual damage that's doing to us, doing to the whole world, doing to the communities, and we don't have the ability to do what we're doing right now, which is be physically together. And when we're together, because of safety's sake, we have to 100% be safe in today's day and age. But Jews need the physical presence. Like, we need to be seeing each other. Like, we need the physical, of each other. We need to be learning with each other. And God bless Rabbi Smith and the entire Smith family. I mean, we haven't been together in March, like as a group. This is March. And you know, our whole year is like based on like the whole library and the coffees and like it's very camaraderie. And when we found out that we couldn't do that anymore, we had to go on Zoom. I'm like, no way. And every single morning that I see every single one of you, you know, get on that thing. And it is unbelievable. And full about to you guys, unbelievable. I mean, if we call each other warriors kind of a joke because we're getting up early, but man, like today in today's day and age, that you guys, all of us, myself included, are sticking with the program every single morning. You know, we're getting up and learning, and God bless Rabbi Smith, the entire Smith family. He wakes up, as we know, an hour earlier, you know, than the shear, just so he can keep it fresh for us. Rabbi Marlowe, thank you for Rabbi Laufer, for all your encouragement and everything that she does, and Rabbi Laufer for running this whole thing together and always, you know, being there whatever we need, and Rabbi Marlowe.
So late.
And we're talking about a warrior, his father, previous president, all the warriors of that generation, like the Soviet Union on and may we in this in us in our merit and everything that we do. Our parents are very much try to do, and go immediately. So we come across a very interesting piece of Gemara here. It's at the end. Now, Shabbos is long. Shabbos is a lot of fun. We say like rough go out, you have fun, that's the story, you know, get married. And you know, you get all the ups and the downs and the good days and I figure out. It's been a very long one. And when I first saw this last one, I thought this was like a nice little way to end the Gemara, like a nice little like comedic routine. Smith and I had the benefit of running a little bit deeper, so we'll give that over also. So it said that Ula, I'll do it in Aramaic. Ula ikla la bara. I'm sorry. Ula ikla leiv reish galuza.
I'm listening to Brian making a Siyum.
Like the head guy of the Babylonian Jewry, kind of like.
Here, bring me here this. This.
At the house, it says, Kazye, the Rabba bar Rav Rahuna. He saw Rabba bar Rahuna. And what was he doing there? The Yasev, Avna, Damei, Mashallah. It says that he was sitting in the tub of water on Shabbos and he was measuring. Now we know that this can't be. You can't measure on Shabbos. And by the way, what are you doing in a tub? Not a mikvah. It says it's a tub inside.
You have to take your briefcase from the middle.
Wait, I'm coming in a second. Come on, Mushka. Bring in Mati's tefillin.
Only good for measuring the form of the purpose of the mitzvah. So what are you supposed to do? You're not doing this here. He said the law of mitzvah, but it's not for the sake of a mitzvah. Miyamar. Did they say that it's permitted? No. So why are you measuring the tub? So Rabba bar Ravuna answers. Amarlei said to him, Mishake Alma Anan. I'm merely busying myself, but not measuring for any purpose. So that's a weird little ending, right? The Shabbos. Basically saying what? I'm not doing anything. I'm just washing around the water. I'm not really measuring. I'm just having fun in the tub. On Shabbos. This can't be. So Rabbi Smith and I had the benefit of learning this week. Rabbi Benamo gave us a nice sefer to read about what this means. And when it says, Rav Huna says that I'm merely measuring, the word merely can be translated to the world. What he said is that I'm putting my body into the world. I'm putting to my body the world of what? I'm putting my body into the world of Torah. So that my body, that is my soul, can enjoy the benefits of the Torah. And when I'm measuring the things, I'm measuring the different methods, the different ways that one can absorb, learn Torah. A nice little ending for a very long, beautiful stuff. Hadran Allah mi shechlish l'slika la Meseches Shabbos. Hadran Allah Meseches Shabbos v'hadra Allah v'ata Allah Meseches Shabbos v'data Allah la yisnasei minach Meseches Shabbos v'la sisa neshei mina lava alma hadin v'la v'alma da'asei yehi rason l'fanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei Avoseinu shetachei sarascha umanu seinu ha'olam hazeh Usasei imanu leolam haba. Kanina bar Papa, Rami bar Papa, Nachman bar Papa, Achia bar Papa, Abba Marie bar Papa, Rafram bar Papa, Rakish bar Papa, Sorcha bar Papa, Ada bar Papa, Daru bar Papa. Harev Nadonai Eloheinu es Divrei Saraska Kefinu Uri Fifios Amcha Beis Yisrael V'niyeh Kulanu Anachnu V'tzeh Sa'asenu V'tzeh Sa'eh V'tzeh Sa'enu V'tzeh Sa'eh Amcha Beis Yisrael Kulanu Yodei Shemecha V'lamdei Sarasecha Yishma. V'yoshvei Tahachmenu V'zvosecha Ki Leolam Ki Li Vihi Vivi Sami Kecha Aman Lo Avosh Leolam Lo Eshkach V'decha Ki Vam Ki Sheni Baruch Atah Adonai Lamdeni Ukecha Amen Amen Salah Va'ed Modim Anachnu Lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elokei Avoseinu Just Samta Chalkenu Yoshvei Beis Hamidrash Lo Samta Chalkenu Yoshvei Haranos Sha'anu Mashkimim, Behem Mashkimim, Anu Mashkimim, we brave, Torah, Behem Mashkimim, Barim Betivim, Anu Amelim, Behem Amelim, Anu Amelim, Kabalim, Sapor Behem Amelim. Ve'enam malkavalim sach or anu ratzim, v'heim ratzim anu ratzim, v'chai haolam haba, v'heim ratzim, v'ver shachas shene'emar v'ata Elohim, v'redim v'ver shachas anshe damim. Mir ma lo yachezu yamehem v'ani avtach bach. So that's what I'm doing in English because I was apropos and I ran out of time. Maybe you will, Hashem, my God, just that as you have helped me complete Meseches Shabbos. So may you help me to begin other Meseches and books, to complete them, to learn and to teach, to safeguard and to perform, and to fulfill all the words of your Torah's teaching with love. May the merits of all the Tanaim, Amarim, and the Torah scholars stand by me and my children. The Torah shall not depart from my mouth, from the mouth of my children and my children's children forever. May they be fulfilled for me in the verse, when you walk, the Torah will guide you. When you lie down, it will watch over you. When you wake up, and you will wake up, it will converse with you. Because of me, the Torah, your days will increase, the years of your life will be added to you. Long days are at its right hand, and in its left hands are wealth and honor. Hashem will give might to his people. Hashem will bless his people with peace. Rabbi Smith, so graciously, if you call us so that we can do
You got younger.
I'd like to just say something. For a person who claimed that he could not speak Hebrew and could not read Aramaic, right? And we've heard many Advents and Siyums. This was the clearest and most articulate reading of the Advent.
Well, I have to thank my two tutors, give them an award. My wife, and my daughter, Javi. Javi spent like all Shabbos with me. Javi's the newest teacher at LEC, so I give her a. Everybody, please, the podium is now yours.
Okay, so to everyone for the learning, waking up early, it's really amazing to be able to learn together. And the Daf Yomi has a life of its own. You know, you just start and it takes over. It has its own life. It's incredible. It's way bigger than the individuals that are involved. All of us. It's just it's tremendous. So everything is associated with Torah. I looked at the videos. We video it every day. We put it up. So the first day that we were doing Zoom, I was in front of my house because I didn't have a place inside. It wasn't set up. I remember I'm like getting the mosquitoes like while I'm trying to concentrate because the mosquitoes, they bite you, and then the feeling is that they're still biting you, even though you're just feeling the bite, but it feels like they're still there. So you just go crazy. So it was the beginning of Shabbos. So basically, the first week of Meseches Shabbos, we went into this isolation, and it's starting to come out of it a little bit by Eruvin. And I just want to explain that, because Shabbos Shabbos is the family. You return to your place. You return to the family. That's Shabbos. That's Meseches Shabbos. And that's basically what we did. We spent the whole Shabbos at home. It was one long Shabbos. The Gemara tells us that Shlomo Melech was Mesaken Erev. It says, Chacham b'nei Yismach Livi Gamane, whatever Pasuk says, that his took great wisdom to institute Erevin. Erevin is that there's a bunch of people in a courtyard and they can carry in there, even though it's the domain of. So basically, everyone joins together. That's Erevin, is that they're joining together in the courtyard. The only thing is that Shlomo Melech also instituted Netilas Yadayim, where you have to wash your hands. So the Kotzker said that what's the great wisdom? He instituted to wash your hands. He instituted, what's the big chachma here that Shlomo Melech was the greatest of all the chachamim? So I think it's going to take great wisdom. If you're in isolation, it's easy. In isolation. If there's no isolation, it's easy. But how to balance the chachma, it takes the wisdom to do the Erevin and the Netilas Yadayim together, that's going to take a lot of wisdom. That will be done around Hanukkah time, making predictions. Around Hanukkah time, that's Erevin. We're in the courtyard. After Erevin is Pesachim. It's already a Chabura. The Korban Pesach is all eating together. We finish the Korban Pesach around all of this. This will be Yud Nisan, I believe. Will be then the Pesach. After that is Shkolim, where everyone, all the Jewish people together give their coins. So, like we said, the Dafim is not a halacha share. It also is not a radio making predictions. But nevertheless, there is something that you live with the times, you live with the parsha, you live with what you're learning, and we see it. What you're learning, you see the connections, you see the fullness, the daf, and everything comes together, and it becomes messages for us. It's teaching. So we should be we should be zeicher to be able to continue learning. It's really the strength that it gives us strength. It's not that we put in strength. It gives us strength. In a time like this, I see a lot of people they fall out. But this kept us. What do you mean? Every day you have what to do. It's not like something. Yeah, you can wake up late. Whatever. There's nothing like this. Every day people are telling people, "Oh yeah, I'm tired." So why are you tired? There's no school. There's no. So we should be able to continue learning and learn until to be able to see Mashiach, all of us together.
And by the way, anybody wants to get up here and speak, please do. A lot of people here really interested. It's I think it would be remiss if I didn't point out one thing that we have a budding Torah giant in Yossi Druin here, and real credit. I put on our little chat. Whatever you guys were feeding him last night, keep it up because today is on fire. But this is a guy. Remember, the reason that he's here, and the reason that he brought his father here was because there was a 5:30 shir in the morning, and there wasn't anything else. So if there's a 5:30 shir in the morning that he can learn Torah, right? Then of course, participate. And that spirit's amazing. And every day that we see you, we were going to have a contest. Who wears headphones better, you or Rabbi Smith? It was too close of a tie, and I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But call to the whole Druin family. Moshe, everybody, and all the everybody together. What's very beautiful in our shir is that we have fathers and sons to learn together on the shir. So we have Dr. Stein and Betty Stein now learn together. And we have the entire Druin family. Grandfather, uncles, brothers. The whole clan on there, which is amazing. And to see that is just, just shows a testament to how special this is. And as Rabbi Smith says, and I know I talked personally to a lot of people here, but a lot of people give credit to the fact that they're still, going strong, to the fact that there's something to do, solid structure for.
Rabbi Schmidt and his son on his lap.
Every morning.
One of the things that I've learned, it says a lot that you can learn a lot from a Torah scholar. You learn probably more by watching a Torah scholar. And so Rabbi Smith is kind of known for his adol nature and just known for having midos tovos like throughout. Just, I tell people, ooh, shit. And I tell people that I don't care if you like Gemara or not, like just sit, when we're in the library, just sit in front of Rabbi Smith for an hour, I guarantee you'll learn Torah just by sitting in front of him. But there was something remarkable that I saw that happened over this break or this learning that I just want to share and say what a credit is to you, sir. Is that not all of us are patient fathers, and especially when we're like in the spotlight. So if you're giving a shiur in front of a whole group, even if it's on Zoom, your kids are climbing on you and stuff like that. You might see a reaction of some sort. You might see a tension at least, or put the kids away, or you hear something going on, right? And I have a series of shots that I took at my phone of Rabbi Smith, and Shrai is pulling off his headphones. He is all over him, right? He's fully pulling. And Rabbi Smith, I tell you, do not miss a beat. He never gets upset. He never loses patience. He never admits moment. He gives it on like as if nothing in the world is happening. And when there's a timing of anything that he has to say, it's such a gentle thing to the son. Baby or whatever. It's just such an unbelievable measure of patience, in a man. And so for that alone, that's just unbelievable. So shkoyach for you for not only walking the way of the Torah, talking the way of the Torah, but like really living the way of the Torah. Now Dr. Starr will say a few words.
And we couldn't do this if it wasn't for Rabbi Marlo Lowry.
After we have opportunity to talk and we do not talk, they give you permission to talk. Talk, please.
Okay.
Commercial.
I only do bad work.
Why should I was singing a long time.
Oh, I have.
Now, without further ado, the sponsor of all of the Daf Yomi, somebody who has been a true warrior, because I know personally that he's filled with questions and concerns about why Meseches Shul is promoting Daf Yomi so heavily, and it's nothing, and I apologize for that. But without further ado, Rabbi Merle.
This towel is clean. Clean?
Of course, Mazel Tov is clean. A very special occasion. You always have someone who has to be the drive, basically the motor, or there are various different names to it. Baruch Hashem, you are certainly the producer, the advertiser, the producer, and you get a lot of credit. Baruch Hashem, we're very proud of you that you made the Siyum, and it's well deserving, and it's certainly a great source. In order to make it compatible, Chabad friendly, because you were very concerned about Daf Yomi. I'm not so concerned, but you were okay, fine. Someone asked me a question today in the Rambam. Today's Rambam, Perek Echad, discusses how there's a question in Gemara, and the Gemara asks, what's greater, Talmud or Maisa? What's greater, learning or action, or behaving in accordance with Torah? And you have different opinions. However, Rabbi Akiva says, and others say, Gadol Talmud, shemevi l'dei Maisa. Talmud learning is greater because it actually encourages you, it brings you to a certain behavior. So he asked me a question. In other words, what does that mean? If learning is about bringing you to behavior, why is it greater than behavior? Is it the behavior or is it the learning? Kind of not really clear. And actually, Tosfos discusses it in Gemara over there, and there are other Mefarshim that discuss it. And the answer basically is, it all depends. The question is, what happens if I didn't learn something? I didn't learn about a mitzvah. What's greater, doing the mitzvah or learning about it? What happens if other people could do a mitzvah? Should I do the mitzvah or leave it up to them and I could sit and learn? Well, it depends. If I didn't learn about the mitzvah, says Tosfos, then lo ya'amod et chosid. Someone who's ignorant can be a chosid and can't perform the mitzvah properly. Yeah, you could perform the mitzvah. There are mitzvahs which are performed without learning in advance, but it's not quite the same. That's why the halacha is Gadol Talmud. Shemevi l'dei Maisa. Learning is greater than Maisa because it actually brings you to it. What does that mean? It has both. You have the greatest mitzvah, Talmud Torah K'neged Kulam. You have the mitzvah of learning, and the learning encourages you to behave differently. This is what Daf Yomi is. When you learn about something, okay, you do it. You do it because you saw someone else, monkey see, monkey do. I know on Shabbos you're supposed to do this or you're not supposed to do that. And that's why I do it. And I restrict myself. When you learn in Gemara, when you go to the source and you appreciate what a Shabbos is all about, a pot in the oven, if you could move it, if you could mix it, if you could pour it, if you could separate, if you could, whatever, the various different malachas and the various different flavors of Shabbos. If you learn it in Gemara, oh, it's an entirely different Shabbos. Gadol Talmud, shemevi l'dei Maisa. Learning about it adds a whole different flavor to one's behavior. So this is what's certainly achieved and accomplished by Daf Yomi. Learning, besides the discipline of getting up every morning, 5:30, starting the day properly, is the flavor, the appreciation, the understanding, the background of the mitzvah. And once you have the background, you have an entirely different appreciation. Not only appreciation, but quality of performance. Incredible insights and in-depth appreciation of the mitzvahs that you're learning about one by one, the various different subjects that you're learning about one by one. Like, first we had a discussion with someone, and he said, "Yeah, in yeshiva, what do you learn? In college, you're sophisticated, you learn, and you're educated. You go to the world. What do you learn in Gemara?" I asked him, "How many subjects have you learned in college? How many?" And well, Anna, tell me, how many subjects? I didn't learn anything. I didn't, in Hebrew school, college, how many subjects? 10, 20, 30. You open up one Masechta, open Meseches Shabbos. You have hundreds and hundreds of subjects. Dozens of subjects day after day. This appreciation you can only have when you actually get involved. Shkoyach, Mazel Tov, and many more to come.
I don't know.
אני אשים את הזה שלי. שים את החמור לפני העגלה.
We want to give a very distinguished person a chance to speak. He's distinguished not only because he's probably the first one every morning on the Zoom. He was also the first one here every morning in the library. You know that because his motorcycle was there in the parking lot. But he's also distinguished because he has Danny Arkish as a son-in-law. So without further ado, we'll have Naftali Lowenstein say a few words. He's a lawyer and he's also president of the conduct board. So, you know, behave.
You can do it in English.
Like everybody here, I'm very, very grateful to the people who organized this. And it's just the people that keep going. And I'm also very grateful to my wife who doesn't mind getting up at 4:35 every morning. She lies and says I don't wake her up. That's okay. We just finished Shabbos, which is a fascinating sector. We have to go into a room. I tried before, Rabbi Smith, and I walked away from it saying it's not a nice thing to make nice with the way it's so hard. It's a really, really challenging sector. One of the things that was interesting to me about Shabbos was there are times that we read with 3/4 of one side of the mouth. Talked about cooking food on Shabbos and keeping it warm on Shabbos and refueling it on Shabbos. Hey, and we're off already. And I thought there have been thousands of volumes written about this subject. And that's to me one of the amazing things about the Gemara is that to me, as Rabbi was saying, so many interesting insights back in such a small amount. That it's been a pleasure to learn and enjoy chance to get to know everybody, and thank you for giving me so much morning.
And now we would be remiss if we didn't have probably our most talented speaker, somebody who goes around the country, entertaining crowds, giving Torah wisdom to everyone. Moshe Druin.
We're not paying you.
I've been instructed to keep it to less than 2. So first of all, I think this is a good moment to thank my son Yossi. Because of him, I participate every single morning. I've not failed since I began. Every single day. So you definitely qualify in that one. You should come to my wife, who every morning, immediately upon finishing, we spend our time together, be able to eat, and be able to daven and do all the things we're supposed to do in the house. He's always up there supporting and backing. Yeshua Rabbi Smith, there's no question that every morning after this year, I have what to say around the house. So to my kids, and to my friends, and to my teachings, whatever I'm doing, the things that we learn actually are being used on a daily basis. And whether they're stories, whether they're halachas, whether they're pieces of information, I think, as has been mentioned here, that it's not just about learning, it's about taking in different points and aspects that not necessarily are going to be a halacha, but the source of how we come to a halacha, how we come to understand how the concept of Yiddishkeit. I think one of the things that inspires me the most is that words matter. Here we are, 2,000 years later, and we're still reading the words that people spoke 2,000 years ago. It's crazy. Can you imagine all the little conversations that we have around our table? Or it could be the sichas and learning and the speeches that we hear. And in 2,000 years, I mean, Halavai, that doesn't happen in that way. Mashiach was coming much before that. But to
think that the power of words, when spoken in a meaningful way and in a purposeful way, can actually transcend time and place. So I really would like to urge all of us to recognize that words matter, and that the things that you say and the things that you express can have an impact in your surroundings. And here we are every single day learning and repeating things that were said by the giants before us. And while we are only the little midgets on top of the shoulders of giants, and yet the concept that words matter is real. So may we all zeicha that every time our mouth opens to say something, we know about the power of shtus. We learn that in Tanya day in and day out, and how it can divert us in so many different ways. But the same way that the power to say shtusim is the same power that we have to say the good and great things. So may we all be blessed to say good things, be inspired to say right things, and to say things of Torah, things of Chassidus, to ourselves, in our thoughts, ultimately, and surely to those who surround us. Yishakach Yitzik for doing a fantastic job. You continue to be an inspiration to all of us. On behalf of all of us, I'll thank your wife and daughters for inspiring you to be the great person that you are. Yishakach for completing the Masechta, and Yishakach for the next round to all of us. Yishakach. 2 minutes.
Rabbi Smith.
Go ahead.
No,
Unless you want to continue with the meaningful Suda, document over here.
Yes, please.
I don't know if they agree with that. Okay, send me.
Back into quarantine.
Rabbi Smith, you want to lead the bench?
No, I want you to lead the bench.
Excuse me?
I want you to lead the bench.
I don't speak Hebrew or Aramaic that well.
Ready, please. Bless.
Do it in English.
Nobody here understands Arabic, so don't worry about it. Nobody will know.
You have to have extra words.
No.
What do you need?
Yeah, there's an event happening here in like 20 minutes.
Did a minion eat?
No.
Go downstairs, yeah?
No. To do it here.
Yes, we can.
Avi Freeman's gonna lead the bench.
I pop up every now and then. You're worried. So you send me a picture of the place you're holding up.
Somebody,
That's it. I don't want
Nessa didn't go.
No, I didn't watch.
What do you mean you didn't watch?
He didn't wash his clothes.
Who's the lady? Come on.
Rabbi Smith gonna lead.
You want water?